And we're live, we're in. Welcome, people, to another episode of MUGA Making United Great Again. We've got a diverse cast with us this evening. First and foremost, a regular. You guys all know Sebi. What's going on, my guy?
What's good, bro? What's good, bro? How you doing?
All blessed, man. All blessed, man. Looking forward to this week. It should be a good one. Good,
Hopefully.
two big games for us, man. Two big games for us. Aka, you're becoming a regular now, man. What's going on?
That's the one, man. Happy to be on. Thanks for having me.
Always welcome, my guy. Last but never least, we've got a very good guest of ours from Manchester, Pundit J. What's going on, my guy?
Yeah, what's going on, brothers? I'm good, man. Nice to be here, innit? Thanks for asking me on as well.
No problem, man. Lovely. Thank you for making time for us, man. So before we get into this week's episode, we're going to talk about Fanslide, our partners in a very good in-play app. I don't know if you guys have been on it yet, but if you haven't, you need to get involved. Chance to make money. Obviously, a big game for us, obviously, is the Liverpool game. I'm sure all of us on the pod right now are going to play it. What sort of tactics were you going to use, Sebi, for the Liverpool game to maximize your Fanslide points? What are you going to do?
I think, when I look at the Liverpool game, I think we're going to be quite cautious at the start, innit? So for me, I'm definitely going to be looking to have a lot of defenders on, to start with like 3 defenders and kind of trying to get my stats up that way. But I think as we progress and we counter, I think, going into, so for example, just at the end of the first half, I think we'll have like I think we'll have good attacking play then. So I might look, to my attackers, at that time. And then also, coming into the end of the second half, I'm going to look to my attackers. So it's going to be a very, very tactical game. But I definitely feel like Rashford, Bruno, and maybe Cavani, if he gets on, are going to get me the killer points for me to win.
Gee, so you going like all out attack of it. You're not even wasting no time. You're trying to maximize them points.
Hey, listen, I need those points, man. To start winning some bread, bro. I need to win some bread on that thing. But it's a really, really exciting app, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Liverpool game.
You guys that haven't downloaded it yet, get involved. There's a chance to win money. None of these sort of free bet offers, real actual cash money. And then in the pandemic, every little helps, man. So get involved, play us, challenge us on the app, and we'll see you there. But let's get into some business regarding Manchester United, more specifically. And we've coming off two games in the past week, cup competitions, no league games in the past 7 days. And first, we'll start off with the Manchester City game last week in the League Cup. That was a sort of 2-0 defeat for us. Just Pundit J, man, obviously been a few days since the game, but what are your feelings and thoughts after it, man?
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you, man. For United fans, it was tough, innit? Because you know what? Semi-final again. And these are the games where you want to see United, the progress that they're making, and you want to see them get over the line. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you're facing your rivals at home as well, getting beat like that, and it's not even like United played great. Do you know what I'm saying? And you can hold up your hands and say, "Oh, do you know what? Fair enough. Do you know what? We did what we were supposed to do. We did our best." But it looked like United weren't really at the races. Do you know what I'm saying? So that makes it a bit worse. So the feeling was a bit sad for United fans. Do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously City, they were emotional as well after everything happened with Colin Bell and that. Do you know what I mean? So they come to Old Trafford wanting to make a point and wanting to win and everything, and United just didn't turn up. I thought in the last third, I thought United were awful, to be honest with you. You get me? Like those key passes that need to get made didn't get made, and these are the things that matter in these big games like semi-finals. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it was a hard result to take. Do you know what I mean? City kept a clean sheet as well, which made it even worse. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, it was very hard to take, man. It was a difficult one, man, because as you say, I don't think we really got into the game, man. We really got into the game, but I don't think City played that well. Aka, do you think City played very well, or do you think it's the case of United being poor?
Here's what it is, but for Ole, he's got to get over the line at some point.
That's true. 4 semi-finals, 4 losses. That's not looking good. Aka, what do you think it was? Yeah. Poor United or very good City?
City are a very good team, so they make it look like easier than it should have been. I thought we'd give it more of a go, But it's no coincidence we've lost 4 semi-finals in a row. When you get to the latter stage of competitions, you're playing better teams, better systems, better tactics, better managers, and we saw that on the League Cup game. You know, they've got better players, they executed their game plan better, and they were comfortable. I think we were heavily reliant on Rashford doing something, and a moment of magic from Bruno. But in terms of controlling the game, dictating the pace of the game, making chances, and looking comfortable, you know, City's defenders had our attack in their pockets. So it's a bit of both, I think, Michael. I think we were poor. We didn't go for it as much. But City are a very good team, and they make it look easy at times, City.
Is that what it is though, Seb? Is that what it is? Are we just the second team in Manchester? Is that all it is? Or are we relying too much on 2 players, Rashford, Bruno, if they have a quiet game? Is it a case that if they're off form, United are off form? What's going on?
I think obviously there's no ways about it. We currently are the second best second team in Manchester because of, you know, recent form and whatnot. However, when I look at that game, I think especially in the first half, I think Rashford was threatening. And as Pundit said, the final third areas though were poor. We didn't play the key pass. But one thing I say in regards to playing the key pass is I think like Martial just needs to pick when to come short and also when to stay on the shoulder. So there's loads of times where I feel like our midfielders had progress play, and it might be rarely we progress play, but in the times that we did progress play, I feel like Martial kept on looking for the ball to feet. I think there was times where he could have been on the shoulder and make the run and force the issue, because sometimes it's as good as, you know, the midfielder playing the pass, but sometimes the striker makes you play that pass. Do you know what I mean? When the striker's movement's there. But if the striker's always looking for the ball to feet, and, you know, you're trying to actually push the issue, sometimes you see the attacks break down because the midfielders maybe taking too long on the ball or pick the wrong pass. So I feel it's important for our number 9s to make that movement. And I won't blame Martial totally. I just think like at sometimes we could have got in better positions if he made that run.
What do you think it is, though? What do you think it is? Do you think it's a lack of sort of chemistry between the team? Should our midfielders know? Because really and truly, a team should know what run a striker's going to make. Or do you think Martial is not making the runs in behind because he doesn't trust his midfielders to get the ball to him? Pundit J, what one do you think it is?
I think it's a bit of both, you know, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of immaturity in the United front line, to be honest with you. Now, if you check it out, yeah, like Rashford, Martial, and say Greenwood when he plays, they're all under the age of 26 or under. Do you know what I mean? And Martial's the eldest out of those 3 in particular, and I don't think he really sees himself as a number 9. I think he's a bit confused. Do you know what I mean? Because he's left wing sometimes playing up top. And over the last few years, he's been left wing and he's been up top. So he has to learn the art of that role in it, and it's about the chemistry. And is Ollie the right guy to give them that chemistry to coach that properly? Do you know what I'm saying? That's the bigger question. And when we're looking at Bruno's a type of guy, he'll always try things. He'll always try it. He'll try 10 things wrong and 4 of them right. Do you get me? That's how he operates in the game. So it's up to the strikers. Rashford making great runs. Do you know what I'm saying? And the ball wasn't coming. So when I look at it, I think it's a bit of both, to be honest with you.
I agree. I think that's probably one reason they brought in Edison Cavani, isn't it? You got a 33-year-old striker who's been here, done it. He's done it at World Cups. He's done it at the European level, and they probably brought someone in like him, similar to when they brought in Ibrahimovic in earlier a few years ago under Mourinho, just to sort of have that sort of influence over the strikers. Do you think we have this discussion regularly, Seb, on this, man? Is Martial number 9? I know where you stand with this, man, but what is this season for Martial? Is it make or break season for him? Am I being too dramatic here? Can he be our number 9 after what he's showing so far this season?
Yeah, no, Martial ain't it, bro. He ain't it. So for me, bro, like when you look at Man United and you look at, you know, who we've had as a number 9, even right up to right up to Ibrahimovic. Do you know, if we're being real, right up to Ibrahimovic, we've always had a number 9 that is a bit magical. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Somebody who can, you know, turn the tide in an instant. And I just don't think Martial's that. On top of that, we've got number 9s at Man United that's played number 9 all their life. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Or are just special so they can play there sometimes. I don't think Martial's neither. Do you know what I'm saying? I think, as Pundit said, I don't know what he wants to be. I don't know if he knows what he wants to be, but he doesn't move like a number 9. And as I said about Martial, I think Martial's a decent player. In fact, I think he's a very good player. I just don't think he's a striker. Like, I think with the right coaching, he could play left wing. I think we've seen him, like, even, for example, in the match, in the City match, he's always drifting to the left. Naturally, he wants to go on the left because he's more comfortable cutting into the right and doing something off of that. I think that's just a natural thing for him. Do you know what I'm saying? So why not start there? But the only thing is, even regards to starting on the left or starting as a winger, he's not aggressive enough. Do you know what I'm saying? When you talk about the runs in behind, he's not aggressive enough on the wing. The reason why Rashford gets so many chances, even though sometimes he fluffs his chances, is because he's aggressive. He's aggressive with his movement, and more time the ball's going to come. If he makes a mistake, he makes the mistake. But he's always aggressive with the movement, and I think that's important in your game. If you want to be a top-level player, you either have to be special when a ball comes to your feet, where you just can't be touched, or you have to be aggressive with your movement. You have to have a level of intensity. Like, football's kind of moved on now. It's moved on from that maverick type of player. You can go to a small team and be a maverick. You can be a Jack Grealish in a Villa, do you know what I mean, and go be a maverick and get the ball to feet and do whatever you want to do with it and play that free role. Or if you're at a top team, you actually got to work. You know what I mean? You've got to be intense. You've got to show a bit more than a couple dribbles. So for me, I think this is definitely make or break season for Martial. Definitely at number 9. But even his career at Man United, because, for example, if you don't go well, if a cheeky bid comes in, do you know what I mean? United might think, let's just cut our losses, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? If he's not firing, and come off a bad season, it's quite possible. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's players that I know Man United are not going to sell. I don't know if Martial continues the season, Martial will be on that list of not sells or players that are going to sell.
How much? 25 years old, 5 years in the Prem, will be probably up to 6 years in the summer. How much are you taking for Martial? Minimum.
I'll take like 60 mil, 65 mil.
Others, what are you taking for Martial summer? If it continues like this, I'll put that in. If it continues as it is, and he's probably ends the season with what, 12 goals, what are you taking?
He's not going to go anywhere though. Like, he's on 200k.
I'm taking 70.
70, 60, so ballpark. I can't come in. Let's hear an alternative opinion.
Ideally, and with these guys, you want 60 to 75 million, but with his wages, you're just not going to get that unless he takes a wage cut. He's on big wages, man. He's on Man United number 9 wages, and he's just not cutting the mustard at the minute. He's not a number 9. I'd rather keep him on the left and see how that goes. The issue was Rashford played on the left before, so we had this issue where we had 2 great players playing on the left. So we decided we're going to move one of them into number 9. Now, they're both not really for number 9s for me, but Rashford might have given him a get out of jail card because Rashford is actually doing really well on the right this year. So that gives Martial a bit of life in his Man United career. So he may just get a reprieve and play on left wing. But if you're talking 60, 75 million, he's gonna have to take a wage cut for someone to pay that, because no one's going to pay 70 million for him and then pay him 200 bags a week for him to just stink out the joint at number 9.
That's it. But then I guess we can all talk who we want to replace or potential replacement with. Obviously, Haaland gets touted about a lot, but it's just, do we have the money? Do we have the finances for such a deal? And also, does Haaland want to come? He's probably got the whole of Europe in his DMs right now. So
there's too many things working against us for Haaland, man. Too many things. His dad plays for City. Broke his dad's leg. Ended his dad's career. Fucking what else? Mino's his fucking agent. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna have bags of. There's so many things working against us for that deal. So, usually I'd be optimistic. I'd say, we're United. We can come in for anybody, pay whatever, even in regards to wages and that. But when you think about the personal things in regards to Haaland, I'll be very, very shocked if he came to Manchester United. It looks like an open goal for someone like City. Do you know what I mean? in my opinion.
Aka, what you saying?
What you say, sorry, bro?
Even Liverpool are more likely to get Haaland, I think, just with the way situation. If Liverpool want to go for Haaland, they can get him. It's just a matter of if they want to go for him. But like Seb said, City and Liverpool are more likely to get him than us.
Well, we better start looking elsewhere.
Do you know what? As well, I can see. Yeah, because I can see like I can see Raiola trying to conjure up a little bidding war as well, because we know what he's like already. Do you know what I mean? He don't care, and obviously, if he knows he's got one of the best assets in Europe right about now, how old's Haaland? 19 or so?
19, yeah, 20.
And he's putting up them crazy, 19, 20, and he's putting up them crazy numbers. Yeah, so think about it. All the top clubs are going to want him. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's going to come down to money, innit? A lot of it's going to come down to money and whether a club's going to go out there and make the outlay that Raiola and Dortmund are going to want. Because when United were going for Sancho, it looked like they weren't ready to put the outlay out there for him. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see with that one. But ultimately, I think Raiola's going to be stirring the pot sooner or later, innit?
That's his bag. That he's got great players, and he's funny. His players seem to love him. Like I saw Ibrahimovic put up a sort of photo on his IG when Raiola won Best Agent. Was it in the world or something like that? He won the Best Agent award. So, you know, I don't know what's going on. Best Agent in the world.
Why would you put the photo when he's getting you like 250k every deal, bro? Like Ibra is almost 50 and still getting 200 bags from every single club, bro. So I'll put up his photo too, bro. I'll put his photo too.
He must be Mike Tyson's agent as well, then, isn't it? Oh my goodness. All right, but okay, so City game, 2-0 loss, I think. What did you guys think? This is a personal thing for me. I did a little post-game reaction on it. Fred, what was your opinion on Fred? McTominay and Fred in the middle of the park? Because I felt the ball in transition in that game wasn't very good. What did you guys think about that? That's open to the floor.
The issue is with McFred. Sorry, bro.
No, go on, bro.
If you're gonna play McFred, you have to get the wins in the wins column. So you can't play McFred and then lose 4 semi-finals for me because it defeats the purpose. Why aren't we giving it a go then? So I think in the next big game, well, I say that Liverpool's gonna be the next big game and he's gonna play McFred again. But yeah, that for me, McFred, if you're gonna play him, they have to get the wins or at least not lose like the way we've been losing the big games. So it's becoming a big issue in the big games that we're playing these guys and we're still losing. So something's got to give. Either we start winning or we actually make a change and we don't play these two. Because like you said, Michael, the ball transition, getting out of our own half was really bad. And that's not on them because that's not their skill set. Do you see what I mean? As a two-pronged destroyer kind of thing, doing, breaking up play and making sure the defense is protected. But then that puts a lot of pressure like we saw on Bruno and Rash. And then if Martial's anonymous, and Rashford's getting locked off on the right, we don't have, many chances to score.
Very long, isn't it? Yeah. No, that's very true. That's very true. Pundit J, what are you gonna come in on that? You gonna say something?
Yeah, ultimately, you see Fred and McTominay, we all know, they're not good enough. And when you play big games and you want to win the biggest trophies sometimes, these two guys, as much as in the big game, certain times they'll turn up and we might get the odd result now and again. Ultimately, when we're talking about getting over the line and having that proper extra quality, it's not good enough. Because if you see, Fernandinho was 35 years old, he bossed that midfield, United have got Fred and McTominay. McTominay's 23, he's still semi-learning the game. But when I look at his touch, when I look at his first touch, when I look at his passing, when I look at all he's getting props for passion rather than quality. You know what I'm saying? And for Man United, to get to where Man United want to be, they're going to have to change one of them. Do you know what I mean? Because this McFred thing isn't the future, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's just for now, and it needs sorting out. And I'm not surprised United are kind of scouring the world for a new DM because they need one, innit? And Fred, he plays like he's on ice skates for me. He's always falling over. It's like he's not in control of himself when he gets the ball. Do you know what I mean?
You're calling him Bambi. Wow. But I guess that's the thing. I think we both recognize they're not good enough. I was even saying like last week, I would rather have one Fernandinho than McFred, and I'd rather play with 10 men and Fernandinho than 11 and McFred. Just how poor them two sometimes can play. I guess it's just situation we find ourselves in is that all the money we spent on midfielders in the last sort of 5-6 years, we still haven't really replaced what was it before? Scholes, Carrick, Hargreaves in our midfield. But anyways.
So just on that, just on McFred or whatever, I definitely feel like out of that combination, I see more with McTominay. So I don't see more with McTominay in like current performances, but I look at the profile players and I say, you know, if a serious coach comes in with the ability, the natural ability in regards to physical ability and just mentality that he has already, I could see a serious coach and just simplifying his game. He needs to improve his passing. You know, we're not like, let's not shy away from that. And I feel like sometimes he needs to improve his positioning. Yeah, those are two things that I think are coachable assets. Whereas Fred is just dumb. Like, I feel like Fred is just dumb. He does some dumb shit. Like, as in, like, he'll be at the edge of the box, and try to shoot with his right foot. He's never scored with his right foot ever in his life. Like, I don't know where you learned that from. Don't know where you practiced that. But he's going to try
them in training.
Bro, he's going to try and shoot with his right foot. It makes no sense. Like, and how many times we see him with his back towards the pressing player, they nick the ball and they throw and goal. I've seen that with Fred millions. I've seen that with Fred so many times. It's just, I'm not shocked when it happens. So for me, in regards to McTominay, there's like a base there. Do you know what I mean? There's like an empty shell there where I feel like if you get a top coach, you can pattern some things with him. That's why I give him leeway. Do you know what I mean? And on top of that, he's also able to put on decent performances on his day. Yeah, they're few and far between. Yeah, and we're not going to say that this guy bangs out every single game and he's good every single game. But when he does play well, he plays really well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But again, when he plays shit, he plays really, really shit. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like him is a coach thing. Is a coach aspect. And that's why I give him leeway. Plus, he's a man, plus he's been at United since he was 5. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather give him leeway than somebody like Fred. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, academy product. Yeah, I guess those. He's got physical attributes. Obviously, he's tall. Obviously, works on his strength a little bit. If you improve his passing,
he can score, man. He can get a goal. He can
striker,
he can be a striker, so he can get a goal, man.
He can bang.
The issue on that is McTominay plays at the minute. He plays because Fred is the most liveliest midfielder. But like Seb said, he's a bit dumb and he's a bit rash. So he'll just go and press, or he'll lose the ball. So if you watch McTominay play, he's actually quite close to Fred. So if McTominay is in the team, they play as McFred, so McTominay can sort of gloss over Fred's faults. And Fred needs to play at the minute because he's just the liveliest kind of sitting midfielder we've got. So if you try to take McTominay out and put a Matic or Pogba in there, we're going to get annihilated like we did against Spurs 6-1 kind of thing. You know, that kind of situation is going to present itself. And I do agree with Seb. I think McTominay does have the skill set, the profile to be a much better player. And when he's allowed to get released like he was against Leeds, you see McTominay's skill set come to fruition a lot more. But at the minute, it's quite obvious to me. He's been told by Ole, you need to sit deep, protect the defense, and protect Fred's faults. And Fred can do his thing kind of thing. But like Pundit Jay said as well, we need to move away from this model because when it gets to the main point of the season, big games, we're going to keep losing them because that combination will not work in the big games. But for right now, for where we're at, it works. But I do agree with Seb. I think McTominay is the one that will go on to have a much better career at United.
I think that's very reasonable. He's young. He's a younger one as well. And as you say, that academy product connection always goes far. One game McTominay did play well in was the FA Cup game against Watford. He scored in the sort of first 5 minutes. Pundit Jay, what did you make of that game then?
Overall, I didn't think United were great, to be honest with you. I thought they started well. I thought they started very well. I thought the energy was right. I thought the tempo was right. I thought the forward passing was right. But overall, they kind of seemed to die down as soon as Watford started getting a bit more of the ball and they started rotating their play and rotating the ball with is it Pedro who was playing up top with them and Ismail Sarr on the wing. I thought United stepped off the gear a bit. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit mishmash after that. And to be honest with you, obviously it's a cup match. All you want to do is get through the round, innit? Do you know what I mean? So long as you get through, then yeah, you can kind of say, all right, do you know what? We didn't play well, but you know what? We're in the next round. But overall, I weren't really happy with the overall performance. The McTom thing, you see what he's getting? To me, he's getting that overhype again for doing basic stuff. So he's playing DM and he's doing DM stuff. That's just bog standard DM stuff. Tackle, block, intercept, do what you need to do, mop up. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's going overboard because he scored a goal. So what happens is that gets tied in with this McTominay. He's been at the academy for young and rare. He's got the passion, he's got the heart for it and all of that. Do you get me? Like, but really and truly, yeah, when it mattered last week against City, when it mattered against Leipzig, he didn't turn up. Do you understand me? The only reason he played well against Leeds was because Bielsa gave him the whole field to run into. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's these little percentages that United have to fix if they want to go on and win like the FA Cup or the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? It's small percentages, but the percentages that matter. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I think that's very reasonable. Obviously, they get linked because they're both Scottish, but obviously someone like Darren Fletcher and Scott McTominay. Obviously, Darren Fletcher joined the coaching staff recently. I think when Darren Fletcher played, he was sort of a squad player initially. Then he broke into the first team more. And I would have thought in a proper old school United team 10 years ago, McTominay's a squad player. He's not starting.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But you got to remember with Fletcher, he had the guys like Carrick and Scholes playing alongside him, innit? So the quality was there. So as much as sometimes I've got my big doubts about McTominay, I've also got to understand that some of the guys that he's playing with have not got the experience and quality that, say, Fletcher had when he was playing. Do you know what I'm saying? So McTominay could be a good squad player in it. Like if he gets coached right, as Sebi said, and that. Do you know what I mean? He could be a good squad player, but really and truly, if it was up to me, I'll be honest with you, I'd sell him to Sheffield United in the summer.
I'm specific with it, you know. He didn't even say any club. He said
United. Championship, you know, championship.
They could be the championship as well. Nah, Pundit, you're rude for that.
Yeah, but
that's bad. The thing,
Chris Wilder needs some help, man.
No, he's fighting for his life down there. But no, you're right. I think you're right. He's not playing with as good as players, and he's not playing with winners. Obviously, Fletcher was lucky enough to come into a team that was serial winners. That winning was normal for them. So the impression I'm getting from you guys is Ollie is not the man to coach McTominay.
No, not even. I just think he needs a better partner. Like I said, he's in the team, and he's most of the time when he's in the team, he's covering Fred's faults. If we go out and buy a world-class CDM, I think McTominay might be allowed to play more to his skill set more. And he probably would be a squad player, but you'd keep him in the squad. Like Seb said, he's been in the academy since the age of 5. He does get it. I know we keep harping on about this, this pride and passion thing, and he's in there for his character more than his playing ability. But he does get it. He does get what it means to play for Man United. He does, hold himself to a high standard. Like he knows himself that he's not played well. And he's young as well. We forget how young he is. He's 23 years old and he's playing a hard position with the lack of quality around him as well. So if we get a good CDM in, there's no reason why he can't become a more expansive and progressive player. And I do think Ole can coach him on that. Or if we do get another manager can coach him on that. But it's not an Ole thing for me.
I feel you.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is as well, Michael? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen this. I've seen this show before. I've seen it with Darren Gibson. I've seen it with Tom Cleverley. I've seen it with these guys that come into the team from the academy that have been there for years, yeah? They've got a bit of quality about them. They know the United DNA. They know the club inside out. Do you know what I mean? But ultimately, the quality is not good enough. And do you know who's just gone through the same thing? Jesse Lingard, the same thing. He's come through, yeah? Everyone thought, yeah, he's all right. He's been on his loans. He's come back. He's got something about him. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. But really and truly, when it comes down to it, the quality is just not there. They're just below that bar. Do you know what I mean? And it happens. Not every footballer can be the top player. Do you know what I mean? So I understand that with a team and with a squad, you're going to need guys that are going to just be in there to fight and bring that kind of substance to the, do you know what I mean, to the table. But for McTominay, yeah, do you know what I mean? So for I don't know. I just think there's a lot of noise around him that shouldn't be, to be honest.
I get that, and I think that's why McTominay gets criticism, because you got people like me, you got other people that are gonna gas him up. But the reason why I gas him up is because, one, I know it pisses off people, but two, I just feel like I feel that the criticism is too much, because in my head I know the role that I want him to play. I know when we've got a better team, certain games you come in, you do a job, you come back out. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and I feel like he's getting criticised because people think, right, he shouldn't be starting. You're correct. He should not be starting for Manchester United. We need 2 better holding midfielders. Fred shouldn't be starting for Manchester United. So I'm saying, but I do feel like in certain games he'll 100% be useful. You know what I mean? And that's my point. I feel like he can be a much better player with a better coach. So I don't think that Ollie's the one to coach him. I also feel like he probably has a role in the team. And unlike, I know you mentioned pundit Cleverly and Darren Gibson, I feel like Cleverly and Darren Gibson were better than probably McTom. They're probably better than McTom technically, yeah. However, they didn't have no physical ability about them. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why, eventually they fell to the wayside, they were sold or whatever. Having a midfielder that's gifted physically is hard to find. So that's why I feel like he's got a base to start from. So I generally feel like if a coach, coaches him and says, all right, cool, you've got this physical ability, learn this, we've got a game against fucking Chelsea. It's tough in the midfield, like old school. It's tough in midfield. We need somebody who's got a battle. That's what Jose used to use him for. But Tom used to come on and close games out. Last 20 minutes. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's how I see him and see his role at United. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't see him, starting and becoming a world beater. I just feel like he's got, a last 20 minutes in him or a certain game against a certain team. Let's put him in there. It's got to be physical. It's got to be, you need to win a lot of first and second balls. McTom, this is your game. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see it.
No, I hear that. I do hear that, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Because in a sense, that's giving him like a specific role in it, and I feel that's correct with that. But I think obviously the fan base and people put him a bit more higher than that when really and truly the way Seb has described it there, I agree with it like that. He's just there to just do a specific type of job. Let's not overhype him. Let's not call him McSauce because there's no sauce about him. Do you get me? Let's just say exactly what it is and how he is. You get me? There's no sauce, mate.
Allow my boy, man. Allow my mayonnaise. My mayonnaise is you know what I mean? It's a young sauce. A young male sauce, bro. A young male sauce.
Mac Mayo. No. I think that's facts. I think that's facts. He's doing push forward due to the lack of quality, and that's not his game. And I think it's very good you brought up Lingard. In fact, at the game against Watford, eventually 7 academy players did play in the game, which obviously is a good sign for Man United, but probably not all of them do meet the required standard. What did you think about Lingard's performance? He's a player who's not really played regularly. As you say, he's 28 now. He's no longer sort of, obviously there's that joke that, he's got potential. Obviously, he should have realized said potential now. What do you think about Lingard? Pundit J, what's your feelings on Lingard?
My feelings, honestly, I don't know why he's playing for Man United still. To be truthful, because I look at him, and I see the same thing. He's a decent Premier. He could go to somewhere like Watford, somewhere like Crystal Palace, somewhere like that, yeah. And he could play every week and stand out, maybe. But at Manchester United, he's not got it anymore. And to me, when I watch him play, it's like watching a 5-a-side player playing 11-a-side football. That's what it looks like to me. He's tippy-tappy with it. He tried. When's the last time you've seen Lingard produce a great final through ball? He's playing number 10. When's the last time you've seen him score goals regularly? He's playing as an attacker for Manchester United with one of the biggest clubs in the world. There's no room for these type of guys, and it's a bit sad because obviously he went on his loan spell, he came through and he's done all right in a sense. He's made a nice career of it, but ultimately, if you want to be going to win things, I don't think Lingard should be any part of it, to be honest with you.
Aka, I'm not going to say now. I'm going to wait till the end to say something. Aka, what you feeling? What do you think about what Pundit J just said?
Yeah, I have to agree with him. It's a sad story because obviously we like to see our academy graduates do well, but he's not at the level. He hasn't been playing regularly this whole last calendar year. I don't know what he's doing at the club anymore. He needs to go out and get regular game time, play week in, week out, like Jay said, and get some minutes under your belt and try to get some kind of decent form. History will look at him a bit more favourably because he's got a few cup winners. He had a good run under Mourinho. He made a fair go of it, but you're 28 now. You need to get your minutes under the belt and go elsewhere. With McTominay, it's different. He's 23, so he's still got his hard yards and his minutes to rack up. But with Lingard, like I said, I don't want to see him play again for United, to be honest, because it's just sad. Because when he comes out, he gets rolled out after 6 months in some kind of dead rubber cup game, and he doesn't even manage to thrill us there. So I think he needs to move on for his own sake this January.
Seb, Two out of the three panel think it's time to go. Are you team Lingard, or you think he should stay for the banter, for the Instagrams? What are you saying?
Yeah, man. I think Lingard's time's up. You know me. I had an emotional connection to Lingard, man. Before, man, I used to love him. You know what I'm saying? Because me and him are the same age. I've been watching him since, forever. I'm trying to say I've been watching him since forever. Like seeing him play loads of times when he was a kid, growing up or whatever. So I just always wanted him to do well. You know what I'm saying? I always really wanted him to do well. However, if United need to get to where we're at, especially in those number 10 positions, yeah, even if you are a sub and you're playing number 10, you have to have something about you. You know what I'm saying? If we're rotating and we need some squad depth and it's your time to play, you need to have more about you, not just circling the ball and, keeping it moving or whatever. We actually need to see something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather, play, one of the 23s there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like something's missing from his game, whereas before he had like the off the ball runs and he was making things in the box and he was scoring. I think the fact that that's gone is kind of damaged him, and he possibly could improve on that. Or I know he's 28 or whatever, but I know he can possibly get that back, but I don't think he'll get that back at United because he needs to play regular games. So even if he drops down a tier, into one of the top 10 teams or goes abroad and forges a career there, that's fine. But I just don't feel like, especially in the attacking positions, he's doing enough to keep his place in the team. Especially when you've got young 23s that are quite exciting and lighting it up. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's unanimous. I agree. I still don't know. I agree with you guys, man. I don't know what he's doing at the club. 28. This gives me DRB vibes. And he's not even injured, so I think it's time to sort of cut losses with him. I don't know when his contract ends, but even if they just sell him on a cheap to another club, he can revive his career. I think sometimes we forget with footballers, like to get to the level he's at, from when he started out, he's probably in the top 1% of people that make it, especially to make and start his career at Man United. So I give him props, but he's just not at the level. I think that's the nuts and crannies of it. So, but games moving forward, obviously the cup games are now behind us, and I should say, man, apparently we've drawn Liverpool in the FA Cup. So we've got Liverpool in the league, and also we've got Liverpool in the cup the week after. Pundit J, initial thoughts to this breaking news?
Hey, bring.
Sorry, is it one more away?
Let's find out.
Bring it on, man. Scouts is Mancunians. What? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, big game. Big games, man. Big games. Yeah, come on. Listen, do you know something? Yeah, the league game's going to dictate a lot, because if we go there with confidence and we do what we need to do, then obviously the cup game follows, and then we can go there again. Do you know what I mean? Spirits high and all of that. But Liverpool, we know what it is, and it's a big game, especially for us lot in the northwest. You know what I mean? These are our main rivals. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So if we're going to be out there fighting on all fronts against Liverpool, then yeah, man, bring it in it. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Yeah, Akka, we're at home in a cup game, but obviously we're away to them in their league. Obviously not trying to overlook the Burnley game too much. How do you think we'll size up against Liverpool?
I think you know.
Roger.
No. I was just gonna say the Burnley game, as Michael just mentioned, it's big. It's big. Do you know what I mean? Because that's gonna set the tone for the whole week. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Sorry, I could go on, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big week for us in the league, because we're going to see if we're in a title race or not, whether we've got the credentials. In the cup competitions, when we've got to the semis, we've sort of, I wouldn't say bottled it, but we've dropped the ball. So we need, if we want to be serious about going in a title race, or if we think, halfway through the season, want to be top of the table, this is a big week. 3 points is a must at Turf Moor, just because it's our game in hand. We need to make it count. You can't sit here for 4 months and say, oh, game in hand, and then lose it. So we're going to have to win that. And also, it gives us momentum going into the biggest game of the season for us. Liverpool Anfield is always, it's my favourite game of the season, always. It's the first fixture I look at when we play. Whether we're fifth in the league or we're top of the table, it's a massive game. We always want to win at Anfield. we haven't won in Anfield. Like Jay said, it's a big thing in the Northwest, bragging rights, the two big clubs of English football. We just simply haven't been good enough at Anfield in the last 5 to 6 years. We're due a result, and I hope this Sunday we can get a result, not only just for the bragging rights, but for the position that will put us in for the second half of the season.
That's impassioned, fam. Seb, all right, look, assuming we can't disrespect Burnley, every game in the Premier League is hard, but assuming that hopefully we get the 3 points as we should do if we're serious, what is an expected result against Liverpool? What are you going into that Liverpool game sort of expecting United to come away with?
Number one, I'm disrespecting Burnley. They've only got like one black player, so disrespect for them. Yeah. Number two, we need to.
He looks a bad one though.
Brexit, bro. Brexit. Proper Brexit. Proper. I can see it. Proper Brexit.
He's the poster child, man.
Proper Brexit, but we move, innit? Yeah, Liverpool. I feel like if we beat Burnley and at least get a result at Anfield, innit? We just can't lose to Liverpool. We can't lose. And for me, I feel like that 5 at the back that Oli does, I think it's time to bring it out. Do you know what I mean? We can't lose. We should just kind of catch them on the counter. Yeah, we should.
Don't you remember Leipzig?
Yeah, but Liverpool. But the thing is, Leipzig, are well coached in a way where they were overloaded in midfield. And it was just super confusing for Wan-Bissaka. It was just get a move to or whatever. We played that 3 at the back against Liverpool before, and we've always looked decent against Liverpool when playing that 3 at the back, innit? So I feel like we should definitely try that, and we just can't lose. The reason why we can't lose is not so Liverpool, because again, Liverpool are always going to be thereabouts. It's when you look at City's run of fixtures, it's very, very, very favourable for them. So I'm trying to say they've got a few teams. In fact, the next 5 fixtures, they should be winning. You know what I'm saying? Plus, they've got a couple games in hand. Yeah. So if we win against Burnley and we don't lose against Liverpool, regardless of what City do, we could still remain top. However, if we do lose against Burnley, or if we don't win against Burnley and we don't lose against Liverpool, we also got to think about City that are coming through, because everybody seems to be forgetting about the Manchester City, and I think that's how they like it. Slowly and quietly going about their business, and then eventually just pop up. See what I'm saying?
So you're saying it's a not lose. Pundit J, do you think we could win? You realistically, deep down in your chest, think this current Man United team can go to Liverpool and get the 3 points?
I'll tell you, listen, in my head sometimes I sit there and I think, do you know what? United are not ready to go there and batter Liverpool like that. Do you know what I mean? But then I look in the mirror sometimes and I think, why not? Because you know something, yeah? You got to ask yourself this now. On their day, Manchester United, can do anyone. Do you know what I mean? On a single game, they can do anybody, because they've got, you see United's counter-attacking speed and directness, yeah? It can hurt any team in the world on the day. Now, whether that day is going to be this week is a different thing, and that's what Ollie's going to have to try and set up, because Liverpool leave huge amount of spaces behind their defence. Now, for Martial, for Rashford, even for Daniel James, who I don't like, even for them type of guys there, that's going to be bread and butter for them. But it's not about that. It's about how can United exploit it? How they're going to get the ball into those spaces. That's where my issue is, and that takes us back to the conversation we was having about the midfield. And because Fred and McTominay, if they're going to play against Liverpool, what that's saying to Liverpool is, okay, you lot, you have the ball. We're just going to sit here and try and tackle and intercept. What I'm thinking in my head, what are we going to do with the ball? Because for us to win the game, we're going to have to use the ball correctly, innit?
So to use the ball correctly, are you supporting Seb 3-5-2? Are you taking Matt Fred out the picture? How would you set up against Liverpool?
For me personally, I would go the 3 at the back. But what I'm going to make sure I do is I make sure that I've got guys in the forward line and just, whether it's Bruno, Pogba, whoever it is, I've got guys that can play that final pass. Because listen, against top teams like Liverpool, you might not get that many opportunities to play that final pass. And you know what? We should have learned the lesson from the City match. when you get those chances, you have to take them to win these games. So I want my Pogbas, I want my Brunos in the team, as well as a McFred, or a Fred, or a Matic. Do you get me? Languishing behind, who doesn't move from in front of that defense. Because remember, we've got 3 centre-backs, or 2 centre-backs plus Shaw. Do you know what I mean? Plus Tellez as a wing-back and Wan-Bissaka as a wing-back. So long as the security is tight, then that allows the forward guys and the attacking midfielders to be able to try something at Liverpool. And I think on the day, United can do it. Whether it's going to be the day or not, that's a whole different story altogether. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so Aka's going with the 3-5-2 as well. No, sorry, Pandit J, you're going with the 3-5-2. Aka, how would you set up against Liverpool?
I think we're going to start off with 3-5-2. We have to start off with 3-5-2 just to sort of limit their attack. But we're going to have to be very flexible. For me, one of our best performances this year was PSG away. And the reason why it was one of the best performances was because we were very fluid throughout the game. So we came out with a high press. We sort of got the early goal with the penalty. We then sat into a 3-5-2 shape. Then at the start of the second half, we were said to them, you come at us. We're not going to press you anymore. We've got the lead. You come at us. Then they equalised, and we sort of went into this diamond. And he used the bench really well on that day as well. So he got Pogba off the bench. I don't think Pogba's going to start, but that doesn't mean Pogba won't have a big role in the last 30 minutes. So it could be starting off 3-5-2, and then towards the end of the game going into some form of a diamond, depending on where the match situation is. For me, like Jay said, there's no reason why we can't win. We're not going to get a better chance to beat them under Klopp than this year, because the big man at the back is out, Van Dijk. The Spanish midfielder hasn't even turned up yet. They might have signed him next year rather than this year. And Salah and Mane are on furlough, from what I've seen. So, we're not going to get a better chance, but we're going to have to be very fluid tactically to do something there. So, we start off 3-5-2. You start off with McFred, but you might end up with Pogba on a diamond in the last 30 minutes, depending on how the game's going. So I think Ole will have a formation in mind to start off with, but he'll have different formations for different situations. Hence, if we take a lead, he might mix it up and say we're going to sit back. If we go 1-0 down, we need to be open to that idea that we might concede, because they are a good attacking team, although they haven't shown it recently. And then we might have to go into a diamond. So it's going to have to be the order of the day will have to be flexibility.
Okay, I feel you. So we're all starting with a 3-5-2. Okay, let's get some predictions. Seb, what's your prediction?
I think it might be 2-1 to us. I feel like we go up 2-0 very early, and then we sit back for the whole game, and Liverpool get one at the end. It gets tight, but we manage to scrape it, and it's 2-1 to us. I feel like we're overdue a win at Anfield, 1, as the lads have been saying, but 2, Liverpool are not going to go unbeaten at Anfield forever. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, so right now, when they've got the Hardy boys, or whatever you call them, at the back, no Van Dijk, no nothing, it's just bare wrestlers at the back. This is the time to attack them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Rashford, bro, when Rashford, what's the Nate Jones or whatever, what are these centre-backs? I don't even know their names. I don't even know if they're even on FIFA. These centre-backs that they have, when Rashford catches them, do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the time. Martial, this is where you can be forgiven. Do you know what I mean? You've been shit all season, but this is where you can be forgiven in games like this. Greenwood, he hasn't turned up. This is where he could be forgiven. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's overdue, and it should be 2-1 to us, hopefully, man.
That's true. If Martial turns up, it makes it 9 a.m. again, then the fans will forgive him. Pandit J, what's your score prediction?
My score prediction, I think it's going to be a game of counter-attacking chess. I think that's what it is. I think the first goal is going to be vital. Whoever gets the first goal, that's going to allow the opposition to come onto them, which is going to leave X amount of space. Remember, Liverpool have got Salah and Mane, who are runners. United have got Martial, Rashford and James, who are runners. So it's all about the space. It's a chess game, innit? And I believe it's going to be a draw, to be honest with you. I think Liverpool are going to come at United fast. They're going to look at us and think, don't let these guys rest. Do you get me? That's what's going to happen. United are going to have to weather that storm and hit Liverpool on the counter. So, yeah, a draw for me.
A score draw or 0-0?
Score draw, 1-0.
1-0, okay. All right, so we've got United win. We've got a draw. Aka, what are you feeling?
I'm going to go with Jay. I think it's going to be 1-1. I think we're going to get the lead, hopefully, and we're going to try to hold on, but we are going to somewhere mistake or a moment of quality is going to happen, and they're going to get an equaliser, and it'll be 1-1. But I would give my kidney for us to get pummeled for 90 minutes, and then a John O'Shea type winner, a Bruno penalty or something, I'll give a kidney for that. I'm telling you now,
I need
just
that,
for
bro.
the amount of
Yeah.
spoil, I'll give my kidney for a John O'Shea in front of a silent cup. No cup there anyway.
Maguire header, Wan-Bissaka miss hit,
Some kind of
a
nonsense like
Wan-Bissaka
that.
miss hit
Anything.
slice into the top
Any kind
corner
of
or
nonsense.
something
Yeah.
like that, bro.
Wan-Bissaka pot
Yeah.
shot 35 yards out.
Anything,
Slice
bro.
Yeah.
Smash it. I just had to smash it. Bro, I'm gassed. You man are gassed. I'm going United 2-1. Pure passion. No formation behind this. No tactics. Pure passion. 2-1 United. That's simple. As Ollie is gonna pull off a masterstroke. Liverpool haven't lost at home in the league for years, for mad years. But they don't have no Van Dijk, as you man are very correct. No Van Dijk, no Gomez. Thiago, he can put a few comps together, but he's not really arrived yet. So it's time to get them, man. It's a time to get them. And if United don't, man said Dan James winner.
All will be forgiven. He scores.
If Dan James scores the winner, geez, I'm gonna have to join Akko, just right kidney thing, you know. I'm gonna have to join him. I have to jump on to put it on the black market or something. But one guy who probably won't make the team on Sunday is our new signing, Amad Diallo, 18-year-old teenager winger signed from Atalanta. I don't know. I got Cristiano Ronaldo vibes, man. We signed the young Cristiano Ronaldo. Was it 12.2 million from Sporting Lisbon in 2003? And it just feels reminiscent of that. Pundit Jay, what do you think of what you've seen of our new signing, Amad Diallo?
I think he looks a very, very good prospect, yeah. But and I think it's a decent investment. But like you mentioned, Ronaldo and guys like that, and sometimes we have to take it into perspective and think. You got to remember, you know, Ronaldo played 30+ games for Sporting before he come to United. You know, he was in Sporting Lisbon's first team. Do you know what I mean? So I think what's happened is with Amad Diallo, there's a lot of pressure on him in it, and I think because United didn't get Sancho in the summer, and this kid's coming in as kind of like the right winger, we got to really take our time with it because we don't want to put too much pressure on the kid. And he comes in and he fails, and all of a sudden we're back to square one again. But from what I've seen and the clips that I've seen, he looks very, very good. Do you know what I mean? He's very nifty, fleet-footed. Do you know what I mean? Can go both ways on his left, can go on his right. Do you know what I mean? Eye for goal as well. But we have to take into account, as I said, he's 18 years old and he hasn't played 10 games for Atalanta yet. Do you know what I mean? Now he's jumping from Atalanta to Manchester United, and he has to remove Greenwood, Rashford, or Martial. So the pressure's there, do you know what I'm saying? But listen, I'd love nothing more for the kid to come in, yeah, and be a bad boy and turn up, do you know what I mean? And it can happen. It can happen, man. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to watching him anyway, do you know what I'm saying?
As we should be, man. It's always exciting when you get a new big money signing, someone with a lot of promise, but as you say, not a lot of experience, but a lot of promise. Well, big price tag. Seb, what do you think about our new man? What have you seen of him? What have you heard? How are you feeling about the signing?
My boy Black Messi, man. My boy Black Messi. He's on route, man. He's on route, man. You know, for me, bro, I've done a lot of scouting, and some of my friends that are scouts, they've looked at him. You know, like I don't know, scouts have like a next type of system where you can look at games or whatever, and they're hyping him up. They're saying that this guy's the truth. So I'm hanging my hat on them. They're saying like this guy's the truth. Also, I listened to a clip on Fabrizio's. He was on a podcast or one other podcast or whatever, and he said basically, what United done is a masterstroke. So like obviously because of the fee, Italian clubs didn't want to pay the fee. They all wanted him, but they never ever wanted to pay the fee, and they were just like taking their time and wanted to see what happened and whatever. United has obviously gone in there and paid like a higher fee and got him out ASAP. And I feel like that's really important because some of the things that I say about United is that we've been slow. We wait for players to go to another club or a middle club, and then we go take them for 90 million. Do you know what I'm trying to say, or 70 million or 50 million or whatever. Whereas we can go in really early. So it may look like a high fee now. However, for me, there's massive upside. And again, people are raving about him. The small clips I've seen is, you know, it's a type of player we need. We need like a, you know, a winger, a proper winger that can, you know, go left and right. It looks like he can link up, go past players and stuff like that. So I'm quite intrigued to see how he looks at Man United. And on top of that, when you look at Atlanta, there's no like you know, qualms of not getting into that team, because that team bangs goals. Their attack is mad. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They bang goals for fun. So, you know, even making his cameo and stuff like that, it's quite impressive. So I want to see what he does. But I'm hopeful because of the raving reviews I've got from him from other people.
True. Okay, so he's got good reviews. His clips look good. Aka, you must be positive as well, man.
Yeah, 100%. Like Seb said, we've broken from our model. We don't normally do this. We don't normally go in and just splash the cash. But I do think this is pure hunch, by the way, because I've only seen him play like 40 minutes. But it seems as though the noises that are coming out of Atalanta and Italy, this kid is that good. Hence why we've just gone in, paid the fee, got him out. And Ole wanted him in January. Like, they were talking about loan deals next summer. He just said, "Nah, we want this kid now." I think his first 5 games will be pivotal. But from what I've seen, he's got a really good touch, really good head. He's composed. You know, he goes off both feet. He's got all the attributes to light up the Premier League. And I think if he hits the ground running in his first 2-3 games, like we talk about Ronaldo, but the issue was when Ronaldo came, the minute he stepped on the pitch, I know he played 30 games and, you know, he had some form of professional football under his belt. But the minute Ronaldo got the ball, you looked at him and you thought, this guy's here to stay, man. And I think the same with Ahmad. I think the minute he plays and he touches the ball and he has his first cameo, because he's most likely going to come off the bench, and he has a 20, 30-minute cameo, you're going to look at him and think, rah, this guy needs to start. And for me, he's coming in for Dan James. And the bar is in hell with Dan James. No offense to him. Well, actually, all offense to him. The bar is in hell with Dan James. Because this guy is running into bodies. That's what he does. He just runs into bodies.
I hate it.
I think the minute we start getting Ahmad on instead of Dan James, we're just going to be happy naturally with that. And then he's going to push on. And I do see a bright future for him.
Wow. Jeez, we're really getting Dan James out of it, yeah?
Yeah, get him out of here, man.
Jeez. Pundit, you're driving him to the airport yourself, yeah? You're driving personally, yeah?
Yeah, personally, mate. No messing about. Get him out the club, man.
Yeah, he needs to go quickly. But the thing is, Seb, you're talking about scouting reports. Obviously, Sir Alex had good scouting reports on Bebe. Are you not scared?
Nah, that was an under the table thing. You know, big up Sir Alex, but that wasn't a proper scouting report, man. That was something else, man. That, you know, back in the days, man, there used to be some next type of dodgy dealings, and that's what that was. Because again, like
a winger, you know, from Europe. You know, Alex signed him ASAP.
Nah, it's not this, man. Ahmad is the truth. Every club wants him, man. Like, they're rating him. The scouts are rating him. From when the scouts are rating him, I'm rating him, man. I'm all in. You know what I mean? Like, you know, people that know football, they rate him. Every single person that knows football rates him. Do you know what I mean? When you look at, when you listen to the podcast, or you listen to, you know, different people that are in transfers or whatever, and they break down this kid, they're saying, yeah, like, they can't believe that Man United have got him. This is like a proper, you know, it's a proper coup from Man United, you know. So again, he comes with high expectation, because he's definitely a youth player, which they feel like he could be one of the best players in the world. So again, I'm looking to see how he fits in and what he does from the very start, man. From the very start.
I'm just messing with the Bebe question. May God protect Amad Diallo. No, he will not become a Bebe. Please, we can't afford it. There's a pandemic going on. We can't afford it. But one man that has left the club, or will be leaving the club, is Timothy Fosu-Mensah, our Dutch right back, 23 years old, allegedly to buy Leverkusen for a very small fee of £1.5 million. Pundit Jay, what's your reaction to that news that we're potentially losing understudy to Aaron Wan-Bissaka?
Yeah, I think United have probably looked at it and probably looks at it and thought, you know what, if we can get Ethan Laird some minutes on loan, We've got Dalot playing at Milan at the moment. So for Timothy Fosu-Mensah, it was always going to come to this point. I don't think he's got the level of technical ability. I don't think he's got the level of composure to play in a specific position for Man United and be the main guy. So I think he was always going to be like a squad kind of guy. So for him, it's probably the best move for him, to be honest with you, because I don't think he'll be playing games for Manchester United. So all round for United, they'll get a little fee for him. He'll get to play regular football and everything just keeps moving. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, decent player, Dutch, and that. But nah, for me, not good enough for Manchester United.
Is that the feeling with you, Aka? Just simply not good enough for Man United?
It's a shame because when he broke onto the scene, he looked good, and he had good attributes, and he was versatile as well. So he played across the back line and he played in midfield as well for the academy. He had a high ceiling, so we thought. I think injuries have really ruined him, and he's had a stop-start career. So I'm just happy for him to get out and get some minutes. These guys need minutes, and sitting on the bench at United isn't going to help them or us. So, like I said, we get our little fee. I wish him all the best. I just think injuries have ruined him as a player, so he'll never really unlock that potential that at one point we thought he might have had.
It's difficult, especially when the young players on that sort of trajectory to get that sort of serious injury can really sort of curtail their development and their career sometimes in the eventual sense. Seb, what's your thoughts on the transfer, and do you think he can recover the form that he once showed at Man United?
No, again, I think it's more so an injury thing. Yeah, so I think, as like I said, when he first come in into the team, he looked quite exciting. Looked like he had loads of pace. Yeah, like his tackling was good, loads of pace, loads of strength. I could see him in the DM role. However, with like multiple failed loans, multiple injuries, I feel like it's great for both parties to kind of cut their losses and just keep it moving. Again, as I said, we get our small 1.5 or whatever, we get him off the books, and he gets to possibly rebuild his career. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because who knows? He's still quite young. He's able to rebuild his career. But for me, I was done with him when he couldn't really break into the team at Crystal Palace or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Man went on loan and was on the bench. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's not the standard of player we need at Man United. We need to start kicking on from there. And again, Laird is on loan, so obviously there's an eye on him to see how he does, because he will be coming into that position. Dallow's on loan. If Dallow, apparently he is performing well, but if he continues to perform well, United will have a decision to make. I don't think that there's any role left for Fosu-Mensah to play. If he had, because I think he turned down a contract extension. So if he had to take that contract, United do that contract extension thing, which annoys me. They like to hoard players like Pokemon cards and that. So we keep these cards here, and when we need them, we'll fling them out or whatever. But I'm glad that he thought better of himself and he refused the contract and went on loan, because I'd have been pissed if he signed. So yeah, good luck to him, and hopefully he can rebuild his career to some decent type of level.
Hopefully he can, man. Hopefully he can. 23, as you say, young, and obviously you leave Man United. Man United's an elite club. It doesn't mean you can't have a decent career. And obviously Bayer Leverkusen are a decent European team. But what other transfers would you guys sort of want to see? What other rumours are you hearing about this January transfer window? Obviously January is usually a quiet one. But this time last year we did get a certain Bruno Fernandes. So what sort of deals would you like to see United do? Realistic deals at that, open to the floor.
If we can get a DM. See, the thing is, I don't like wishing for players, because with Manchester United, when it comes to players, when it comes to transfers, there is always some heartbreak mixed in with some type of joy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there might be a little bit of joy, but there's more so heartbreak. So I've even said in one of my Man United chats is, I don't want to see no transfer news. Just let me know when it's done. You know what I'm saying? So we were supposed to get the Salcedo guy. Apparently now, because he has multiple agents and they're trying to do multiple things, it's not going to happen. But again, 3 weeks ago, it was as good as done. You know what I mean? So with Man United transfers, I'm not really interested in hearing that. But again, like, if I had a wish list, it would be a DM. And it would be a centre back. And the only reason why I say that is because I feel like those are achievable positions if you go to the right club. Obviously, in the summer, I would love a proper number 9. And probably another midfielder. But in January, achievable positions would be a DM who can win the ball and pass, and a centre back, because Bailly's made out of glass. Maguire, he's in it. Lindelof started the season well, but I think he's soft. Tunzebi, injury crisis. So yeah, possibly a DM of some sort and a centre back.
Pandit J, I was saying DM and centre back way back in the summer. Do you agree with Seb? Do you think Basuma's an option, or what other rumours are you hearing from your end?
Yeah, I think most of the fan base obviously agree with Sebi with obviously that we need a centre back, we need a proper DM, and obviously the right wing, that's always going to be an issue to sort out. I think the bonus signing for United would be somebody like a Grealish to just come in, but I think there's more pressing concerns, and I think this summer, this January transfer window as well combined, I think it's going to be a bit of a balancing act, because the Euros is in the summer, so what's going to happen is clubs are probably looking at it and thinking, listen, if we can get a guy in now before we go to the Euros and his price doubles, do you know what I mean? So young players, especially, which United seem to be targeting. So, for example, Declan Rice now, yeah? He might cost 60 mil, 75 mil now. Goes to the Euros, one of the best DMs at the Euros. West Ham are going to be, in 120 straight away. So it's a bit of a balancing act. Do you go and spend big now? Or do you kind of just wait until the summer and take that risk in it? And I think clubs don't want to lose their big assets this January, but for United, centre-back, definitely, because Maguire can't handle pace and athleticism by himself. Lindelof, I feel like I can go on the pitch and bully Lindelof, do you know what I mean? I'm not supposed to feel like that about my centre-backs. So when Liverpool have got Van Dijk, when City have got Laporte and Diaz and had company, United are messing about. They need to get a proper centre-back and a proper DM, just as Sebi said, a guy that can tackle and pass. Do you know what I mean? Because we shouldn't have to play Fred. Why are we the only club in the Premier League, top club in the Premier League, that's talking about two players to do one job? Do you know what I mean? So if you had a proper DM who could do what McTominay and Fred do, then we'd be all right. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's my thoughts on the January. I think United will go searching for guys, but whether they can get them or not, I doubt it in this window.
I think you make a very good point about, obviously, with the Euros coming up, the later year due to the pandemic, and do you take that risk in January? No clubs really like to spend big in January. Ideally not, but I guess it showed last year, Bruno, that you take a chance, you can have a player that transforms the team. And I think our form since Bruno's come in the 2020 calendar year and the start of this year has been sort of very, very good. Even probably, I don't know if it's second to Liverpool or as good as Liverpool, I believe. Aka, though, what do you agree with the two? I.e., DM centre back, or do you see it a little bit differently?
I need a right back in January, man. I can't be dealing with Wan-Bissaka breakdancing by the wing. I'm telling you, man. If he gets injured as well, there's no one there with Fosu going as well now. What, are you going to start playing Dan James there now? We need to get a right back in January. I don't care if it's Max Aarons or someone that's, Ethan Laird's gone as well now. We can't be dealing with Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams. I think Brandon Williams will probably leave by the end of the window as well. So we have to look at a backup right back for me. CDM, I would love one in January. I don't think it's going to happen. Being United, we're going to have to wait till summer, get a few people off the books. Same for centre back as well. I think the resurgence of Eric Bailly in the last few weeks has put a nail in that coffin as well until summer. I think realistically, the only one we probably will get is a backup right back. But yeah, I would love a centre back to complement Maguire, to bulk up that centre back option list. And we need a CDM, like Pundit J said, because we've got two guys that can't even do the job of one at the minute.
That's scary. And the thing I find scary about the whole CDM thing, obviously we're saying that's a pressing issue. Last year they gave Matic a new 3-year contract at like 32. Like sometimes, as Seb said, they just keep players. But the thing is, Matic has no resale value. So why are you giving a 32-year-old a 3-year contract? They're not even playing. He's not even in the starting 11. Anyways, if anyone has an answer to a rhetorical question, if anyone has an answer, please answer that for me. I don't get this club sometimes, but we move regardless. Now we're going to round out. I'm going to ask some listeners questions. One of the first question is sort of linked to what we were just discussing about transfers, but I'll say it anyway. The question from Vin City is if you could sign any player from a team in the bottom half of the league in January window, who would you pick? First goes to you. So you got to pick a team from the bottom 10 and take one of their players. So who are you going for, Seb?
Let me see. I'm gonna look at the league.
I'm going to tell you the league table. So Arsenal are 11th, as they should be. Leeds United, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Crystal Palace, Newcastle United, Burnley, who we're beating tomorrow, Brighton and Hove Albion, Fulham, West Bromwich Albion, and Chris Wilder is fighting for his life at the bottom of the table. So out of those 10 teams, what player would you take from them this January?
It'd either be Basuma or Neves. I think Neves has had a bad time this season, but I've been a fan of Neves since I was at Porto. Like, I love, and I think that's why I look at him with rose-tinted glasses. Do you know what I mean? Because I've just been a fan of him since he was like 18 or 19. Like, top player, was a captain at Porto at a very young age, and he was a baller. I generally feel like he would do great things in a better team, in a better system. I feel like this Wolves team is, like, the way it's structured, it's very, very weird. It's quite defensive. I don't really fuck with it. I feel like in a team where, in a better team where, you probably have more of the ball, he'd be able to pick out key passes, and I feel like he'd be like a deep line playmaker. Do you know what I mean? Able to pick, and he's got a nasty streak to him, and he can bang a goal. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I'd have him. But if I had to pick out of Neves and Basuma, I'd probably pick Basuma just because I'm on current form, and I wouldn't want to gamble if you only had a choice of one player.
So you have Basuma, the sort of Brighton midfielder, the sort of box-to-box combative midfielder. That's Seb's pick. Pundit J, who you taking? Bottom 10 of the league.
Bottom 10. Do you know what? It was a toss-up between driving to the Emirates and collecting Saka, or going to Wolves and telling him I want Neto. But I'm going to go with Neto, though, for Wolves, because I look at him and he's young and he's in the Premier League and he's exciting, and there's something about him, do you know what I mean? And Portuguese players right about now, flavour of the month, mate. There's a lot of them, do you know what I mean, that are doing well. Technical abilities on point, do you know what I mean? So I look at Man United and I think if we was to get rid of Dan James and Lingard's on the way out and Matter's coming to the end of his tether and Greenwood wants to go up top, the space is there, do you know what I mean? We've got a heavy schedule. So yeah, if it was me, I'm going to Wolverhampton and collecting Neto.
Pedro Neto, very good young player, 20 years old. Scored a very. Was it Chelsea? Scored a very good goal to win the game. That was a very, very excellent strike, man. So Aka, we've got Pedro Neto. We've got we've got winger, I should say. We've got Basuma. Who are you taking?
I was gonna say Neto, but Jay's obviously beating me to that. I think bottom half, Thomas Partey is the best player. I know he hasn't kicked on yet, but if we were to get imagine Thomas Partey in our midfield. That's a signing we should have been all over in the summer, but for some reason we weren't. But Thomas Partey, I also like a couple of the Leeds United lads. So I think Calvin Phillips is a very good player, and he's destined for a top 6 club. Also, I like the two lads they've got up top in Rafinha and Rodrigo. I wouldn't mind a bit of Rafinha on the right wing, or even Rodrigo he's a good number 9. I know he hasn't played much, but they're good players. But I think Partey would be the one that gets my vote.
Yeah, you guys pick better players than me. Neto is absolutely unreal, and Partey is absolutely unreal. So yeah, you guys are more good.
No, yeah,
Partey's a good shot.
That would fix a lot of our problems if we were to get him. It's annoying because he was available for 45 million all summer. Arsenal only got him on the last day. It was touch and go. So to this day, I don't know why United didn't go for it. Maybe because they signed Matic to a new deal, or they thought Matt Fred was the answer.
Yeah, listen, there must be some funny people in them boardrooms, because you're giving Matic 3-year contracts and you're not going for guys like Thomas Partey who are just dead. You know what I mean? So it's a mad thing at Man United certain times. It makes you scratch your head and wonder, do you know what I mean?
Facts. Because, obviously I know he's had a bit of stop-start career at Arsenal, and I don't like, catting over Arsenal players, but you got to be honest, that would have been a solution to a lot of our problems. Because I swear we come on here every week and spend 15 minutes talking about Mac Fred every single week, like it's new. Every single week we're talking about them, and that player. Anyways, Anyway, we can only dream, but I like that. Well, let's go to another one of our listeners' questions. We had someone saying, "Stop being delusional. Y'all not going to win the league. Period." Thank you, Stanley Laroche. I appreciate that. Harry Adams had a question. I think we've kind of touched on it already, but if anyone wants to come in on that again, they can. It was, what formation and personnel would you pick against Liverpool and why? We touched on that earlier, but does anyone want to add anything else?
No, just a 3-5-2.
Would you say, sorry?
Oh, no, sorry.
Seb, if you're going to play three at the back, which three centre back? Are you playing Tuanzebe? Or are you playing Bailly and Lindelof?
I'm playing, my three at the back here is Bailly, Maguire and Shaw. I think Shaw on the left, obviously, one, gives balance, but two, every time he's played that left centre-back role, especially last season, which is where the tide started to turn on him, is he's played quality. One thing about him is he can defend. Yeah, he is a bit weird in other positions. Don't want to talk on him. Like, his body type is a bit mad. So I'm trying to say, like, a bit of a chubby youth, but one thing about the boy, he can defend. But again, like, I wouldn't be against playing Tuanzebe, Bailly, and Maguire. That's actually a good three as well. So I'm trying to say there's loads of pace there, and both 1v1 defenders. So either or would be cool. The only change I'd say, instead of McFred, I'd go with McTominay and Van der Beek rather than playing Fred and McTominay. The only reason why is because we need somebody that can hold the ball. Yeah, if Liverpool are going to be sustaining attacks eventually, so eventually in this game, it's going to be a period of time where it's going to be attack on attack on attack on attack. We need to know once we get the ball, somebody is not going to lose it or just try to shoot with his right foot and do some next thing that shouldn't be done in it. So I feel like Van der Beek, somebody who can hold position, but also hold on to possession. I feel like he should be used for that game as well.
I think that's a good shout. Van der Beek, obviously, it was Van der Beek and McTominay that started the game against Watford. And it's a good alternative, as you say, someone that can hold the ball and hopefully someone that's more comfortable in possession. I think that's the main thing. We're complaining that we're struggling about sort of transitions from the defensive phase to the attacking phase. And if you've got someone like Van der Beek on the board, then hopefully that should start to solve that. So we're saying 3-5-2. So you're playing Telles left wing back, I'm guessing, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right wing back. Is that fair to assume if you're going to have Shaw, Bailly, and Maguire? Then we've got McTominay and Van der Beek. Who's covering the three other positions then? Who's in the 10 and who's up top?
It's Bruno, Martial, and Rashford. I think them three will play. They pick themselves. They'll give us pace on the counter. Martial, Rashford will trouble their centre backs. Like I said, we don't even know who's going to be at centre back for Liverpool, but they'll both like sort of split up and go into the channels, and it'll give Bruno that free role as well, where he's got to look after the ball a bit better, but he can hurt Liverpool. Them three pick themselves for me. And like I said, depending on the situation, we might have to throw a Pogba in there. We might have to throw a Cavani in there. We might have to get a Matic in there, depending on the game situation.
So that means that we leave Paul Bill Pogba out. We've got David Akin. He's not happy with you, Seb. He's saying that Van der Beek wanders and leaves so many gaps in midfield. Think about the game against Watford. Think about the second leg against Istanbul. Does that sort of shake your mind, Seb, or are you quite resolute in your decision?
I think it's about instructions, isn't it? I feel like Van der Beek, out of the two that's holding, has been told to be more offensive. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. And we saw more of that against the game against Watford, where McTominay was the one that was always doing the recovery tackles and he was more in the defensive areas. However, I feel like Van der Beek was more tasked with linking up with Jesse Lingard and doing more of the offensive work. I feel like Van der Beek's such a smart player. I feel like if we give him the instructions, he will hold. Do you know what I mean? He's well schooled. So, if we say, listen, you know what this type of game is, hold your position. We need these two. You're here to, retain the ball. Don't wander. And I feel like he'll be able to execute that, man. He came from Ajax. There's not a better academy, than that. So other than Le Carrington, but yeah, there's not, second best academy. So, yeah, man, I feel like if we give him instructions, I feel like he'll be able to carry those out.
Is he going to play though?
Probably not. Probably not. He probably won't play. But ideally, I'd want him to play. Do you know what? It looks like it would probably be a Fred and McTominay. You know, that's Ollie's trusted too when it comes to big games. So yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
So no space for the bill, according to the team we just mashed up together. And another one of the listeners' questions is Martial Cavani up top? Obviously, we know what Cavani did in the League Cup. He was the reason that we got to the semi-finals. He's sort of Martial did set him up, but then it was Cavani showing that technique, clinical striker's finish. Is he even back for the game?
He's back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Am I losing my mind here? So are we sticking with Martial, or do you think Cavani warrants a start against Liverpool, the champions?
I think Cavani's got a big role. Like I said, it's going to be a game that might be won off the bench. So Pogba, Van de Beek, Cavani, Mason Greenwood, these Matic, they've, you know, depending on which three come on, they're going to have a big role. I'd rather get Cavani off the bench and give Martial and Rashford the freedom of being the front two and running at that defence, because they've got place to burn. And, you know, this is what we have to invest in, Martial and Rashford. But I do think Cavani will have a big role off the bench. I think Pogba, you know, I know we're saying he's not going to start, but he could have a massive role in the final third of the game. I think he'll come on tired legs. He'll have a bit more freedom than he normally does. I think Pogba can do bits in the last 30 minutes, and I think that's how Ole will sell it to him as well. And say, look, you're not starting this game, but you've got a big part to play. Same with Cavani. You're not starting, but you've got a big part. You might have to throw your head at something and get us, you know, a smash and grab win or a smash and grab draw or something. So these guys will be, you know, G'd up for it, and they'll have a big role to play off the bench. Van de Beek, if we're winning 1-0, what better player, like Seb said, you know, he's got the technical ability to hold onto the ball, you know, pass it around, not lose it, get it stuck in as well. So these guys will have a big role to play off the bench.
It's just scary that we're talking about essentially our biggest game of the season, Liverpool away, and we're talking about realistically not starting Paul Pogba. It's just crazy that it's come to this, our most expensive signing, and we're talking about playing three midfielders in the centre, and he's not one of them.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think that comes down to a lot of the fact that we've not got a proper DM. Because I think if we had a proper world-class DM, someone like a Partey that was there, then you'd probably trust the little Pogba in there. Do you know what I mean? Alongside him better. Whereas when you see Pogba perform, he's always been alongside very, very good DMs. Kante for France and Pirlo and Vidal for Juventus. Do you know what I mean? Whereas at Man United, who are you going to put beside him? But what I will say is that the back end of last season, when United went on that unbeaten run, it was him and Matic playing that role. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we didn't face the teams like Liverpool, but it was them two playing, and McTominay was on the bench. But going back to the striker situation, I think Ollie's got a difficult decision to make, because at Liverpool, what they try and do is cage you in. That's what they do. They'll press high and they'll try and cage you in so you can't get out. So it's all about the forwards being able to make those runs and also not losing the ball so easily. So Martial and Rashford, as much as they've got the pace to get behind that defence, can they stop the ball coming back to our defence? Because all that's going to do is drive us deeper and deeper and deeper, and we're never going to get out. So there's a bit of a tactical battle going on next week, and Ollie's gonna have to work out which traps to work with and which traps not to work with, and that's that's the life of a manager, innit? And these are the big games. And to be fair to Ollie, he does quite well in the big games, innit? So yeah, it should be very, very interesting, innit?
It should be interesting, and he has done well in big games. Obviously, this season, started well for the PSG, but then he let himself down at home against PSG when he should have taken a Fred off before he got his red card. And obviously, Leipzig away, where the 3-5-2 in that game was to our detriment. But we hope and pray that it's a better result for us. But I think we've got to find a place for Paul Pogba in the team, man. I don't know whether that's a 4-4-2 diamond. Not that that's our best position, but I can't fathom a game without Paul Pogba, especially with Matt Fred starting. That it just burns my heart. I can't.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not playing Pogba against any high intensity team from the start. Yeah, like I know people love Pogba and sentiment is an amazing thing. However, we're here to win the game. I just feel like Pogba again should be used in certain games, and I just don't think he's intense enough. Bruno, for all his deficiencies, the guy's gonna give it. He's intense. You know, it's non-stop running. You know, the tackles are gonna be flying about, and he's got a bit of quality in the final third. I feel like this game is just meant for intensity. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Is Liverpool, again, even if it's just 45 minutes, they are going to be pressing us. And we've seen Paul Pogba get pressed off the pitch many times. So I don't think this is a game for sentiment. And I don't think this is a game where just play Pogba because he's Pogba. No, this is a game where if we win, where we've got a clear gap at the top of the league. And I've seen Pogba play these games over many years, and he for me, there's not really a standout game. People will mention the City game where we came back, but that was literally 3 quality pieces of hard work. In the third, it's 3 quality pieces of play. In the first half, he got pressed off the pitch and he played shit. So I've seen Pogba play shit in too many big games. I don't want to risk it. I just need intensity in that match. That game is about the whole team rather than individuals. The whole team's all going to be has to be on song. And Pogba could play a key part in the last 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? In 20 minutes, if it's 0-0 or if we're losing, I trust Pogba to come on and do and do some magic. Pogba and Cavani or whoever's on the bench or whatever. But to play him from the start, criminal. I'm not on it.
I just think he has.
Go on.
I think with Pogba, he's got a history, a catalogue of errors in big games. And, when, like you said, you need intensity and you need a game plan. Now, I know McTominay and Fred, they're not the greatest, but they will perform that game plan to the best of their abilities. And they probably won't make as many fatal mistakes as Pogba's likely to make. That's why we have to limit Pogba's time on the pitch in this type of game. So I'm not against not having him feature, but I think for that reason he can't start because he's got a catalogue of errors. I mean, this year I still haven't forgiven him for the Arsenal penalty. As good as Arsenal were, they weren't going to score that day for me. And Pogba handed him.
He said out of breath, innit? The post-corona syndrome. He said his chest was. What did he say? He came and said he was short of breath.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what it is though with Pogba. Yeah, it's partly not even his fault as well. Because United have not set up a team that enables him to get the best out of him and what he's good at. Do you know what I'm saying? So if United had a team set up, then we wouldn't even really be worried about playing Pogba in this particular match. But because United's midfield's a bit wayward, do you know what I mean? Then it's a bit difficult to see him play. Do you know what I mean? In these big games, especially against a high intensity team where you're gonna need to move the ball quickly. And Pogba likes to dilly dally on the ball sometimes, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? And gets caught. So, but to me, Pogba's not a problem. I think Man United's setup and the play and the squad and the team is more of a problem than Pogba. They should be looking to fit a Paul Pogba into the team rather than us sat here worried about playing Pogba. If you get what I mean.
100%. Oh, that's facts. That's 100% facts. It's just I think we're very right to be wary of Liverpool's intensity. They're a high pressing team, but it's almost like who would you trust more under the press, Paul Pogba or Matt Fred? That's the question we got to ask ourselves, and that's the question Ollie will probably be asking themselves as he contemplates the team he's going to pick for Sunday. So we just hope that whatever decision he makes is the right one to sort of win us the game. I'm still sticking with my 2-1. Seb, you still going 2-1?
Yep, 2-1.
And then Accra and Pundit J are going with their score draws. So not as confident, but maybe they're being more realistic. Who knows? But we move, and I think we've been on this thing long enough. It's been a good pod. This has been another episode of the MUGA podcast, Make United Great Again. And we hope on Sunday we can be great and we leave Anfield with all 3 flipping points. And we go into our FA Cup game against them the week after, top of the league. All right, man. Lord. Please, Lord, hear our prayers. All right, man. Thank you, lads, for joining me. Thank you, Sebi. Thank you, Aka. Thank you, Pundit J, especially for taking time out of your schedule. We've been the MUGA podcast. Yep. You guys have a good evening, yeah?
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Take care.
Yeah, man. Bless. Thanks for having me. All right, easy. No problem.